Hello and welcome to a new episode of Halfway with Hathaway. Super excited to have you on this one. Very emotional for all my Patriots fans out there. This episode, even my NFL fans in general. Bill Belichick has announced that he is going to be leaving the New England Patriots after him and Robert Kraft met, and on Thursday they mutually parted ways.
I'll always be a Patriot. I look forward to coming back here, but at this time, we're gonna move on, and I look forward. I'm excited for the future, but always very, very appreciative of the opportunity here, the support here, and what you've done for me. Thank you.
Super sad. I mean, 333 wins, 31 playoff wins, 6 Super Bowls. The greatest coach in NFL history. I mean, there's no way around it. I think this is not the team that he was going to beat Don Shula's winning record with. But I'm sad to see him go as a Patriot because there's so many great memories of Bill Belichick. And, he was a coach. And no matter how you look at it, whether you think that it was him or Tom Brady that made the Patriots, either way, both were great in their own aspects. Both are the greatest to play and coach. So it's super sad to see how everything kind of went down. I was hoping to see Bill Belichick another year, but things just don't work out that way. Sometimes it's just time to move on. And for me, I'll always support Bill Belichick. I am always a fan of him. I think these last few years without Brady, he struggled to find a way to adapt to how the NFL is now. And with that being said, he did a good job with Cam Newton. He did good with Mac Jones, except for this season. I mean, they went to one playoff game. It's tough, though, to see the Patriots dynasty come to an end. And I've had so many great memories as a Patriots fan. I mean, as you can see behind me, Randy Moss, Teddy Bruschi. I have a signed Adam Vinatieri poster to my left, and then over here I have signed Tom Brady with a helmet next to me of Teddy Bruschi, Randy Moss. They both signed it. Cool story with that. When Tom Brady returned with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to play the Patriots a few years back, probably 2021, 2022. Yeah, it was 2022, I believe. 2021, one of those years. It was a few years ago. I don't know. Like, my whole time frame is just like so confused right now, like it being the new year, that I'm just like, I don't even know how many years ago I did something. It's funny. But yeah, so I was there, and that's when ESPN and NFL Game Day, they went, and the whole crew was there. And, Rex Ryan was there, Randy Moss, Teddy Bruschi. I'll pull up some pictures for you guys, for those who are watching on the YouTube. But, yeah, it was just cool. And I ran to the Patriots Pro Shop. And I was like, because I was front row. I was sitting front row. I went with some friends. And what I did is I was like, okay, I need to get a signed thing because they're signing stuff in between commercials. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a mini helmet. And it's a throwback one, too. It's not like the Flying Elvis. It's actually Pat the Patriot. And I bought it, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I was like, I need to get this. And, yeah, so hold up. I'll get in a second. But, yeah, it was just so cool because, like, I tossed the helmet over to Randy Moss. He caught it. And then Bruschi, he made his way over and signed it too. I mean, we're just booing Rex Ryan because nobody in New England likes Rex Ryan whatsoever. But it was such a cool moment for me. And yeah, so that's why I have that helmet of Randy Moss, Teddy Bruschi. They both signed it. So cool. And then I got a case for the mini helmet to go in. So yeah, many, many great memories as a Patriots fan. I think this dynasty, that chapter, that book, honestly, it's not even a chapter. That book is just now closed. And it's sad. It's super sad because it feels like my childhood's over. I grew up watching the Patriots win Super Bowls. I grew up watching Tom Brady. I grew up watching Bill Belichick coach. And now we are in a new era where now none of that exists. That's all the past. I feel like as a Patriots fan, I'm going to come, 10 years, 20 years down the road when I'm older and be talking to my kids like I'm a deranged Cowboys fan talking about the 80s and 90s about how we just kept winning. But then we haven't done anything since. So I feel like that's just going to be my memory. But that's something that's always going to stick with me forever. They had the saying, forever New England. So it's true. It's forever. And then possibly with Matthew Slater retiring, David Andrews, we don't know about his future. It's sad because, like I said, it's just my childhood. It's what I grew up on. Being born in the early 2000s, like 2001, all I've ever seen is winning. And granted, I don't remember the first three as much as I do the last three. And I want to talk about 2008 or 2011 because, I grew up in Connecticut. So you're either a Patriots fan or you're a Giants fan. So I had a lot of friends who were Giants fans in 08 and 011. That was when I was in elementary school, like 5th grade. And, all my friends would make fun of me because, I was a Patriots fan. The Giants beat them. But I remember David Tyree's catch very vividly. The second greatest catch in Super Bowl history, Julian Edelman's against the Atlanta Falcons. That was the best catch in Super Bowl history. So I remember I threw a temper tantrum. I was so young, but I threw a temper tantrum because David Tyree's catch. I threw all my Patriots gear down, and I was like, I was so mad. I was like, I'm never being a Patriots fan again. I just threw a big hissy fit. But that's just how much the team meant to me. Because, one, I trash talked in school about the Patriots and how they're going to beat the Giants. But, looking back at it, it's just good memories that I'll always have. Like, the week of the Super Bowl, the day before the Super Bowl, my bed was just covered in Patriots blankets, Patriots pillows. I slept with a Patriots helmet. Like, that was just so weird. But that's what the team meant to me. It still does. It still forever will be. It'll be in my blood. And the Patriots, that is just some good memories I have. Like, personally, going to so many games with my dad and being able to watch games with him in person. I went to one I remember. I think this will stick with me forever. As I went to Tom Brady's last game as a Patriot. And I just, I was against the Tennessee Titans. And, when he threw that pick six at the end of the game, it was funny. It wasn't funny. But now I look back and I'm like, that's just something I'll never forget, is seeing Tom Brady's last pass as a Patriot be a pick six. And the atmosphere in there. That was a few years ago, like last week in early January, and just seeing that in person was just so surreal to me. A memory I will never forget because I went to all the banner ceremonies, at least the last three when I was old enough, and I'm saying that like I'm young. As I'm like old enough to remember, so just being able to witness a lot of these Patriot moments at Gillette Stadium is so cool. And I'm just sad that Bill's gone, but it certainly is time to look at the future. And I think that's Robert Kraft, that's his intent with hiring Jerod Mayo as a new Patriots head coach, which was announced on Friday. So I'm happy for Jerod Mayo, according to sources that it was in his contract when he signed that he was going to be the successor to Bill Belichick in the year 2025 when Belichick's contract was up. Going 4-13 certainly did not help the case as to Bill staying another year. And, with them mutually parting ways, I listened to the press conference, and it was sad just to kind of see Bill Belichick show some kind of emotion. We as media, we as fans make fun of Bill for being so robotic, not really talking about things. We're on to Cincinnati. Well, Bill, what do you think about your future? Well, I'm focused on next week. Those answers that he gave to the media. But it was nice to see him show emotion. Granted, he didn't cry. He didn't, do anything. But when towards the end of his speech, he choked up. You could just hear it in his voice. And I was sitting there, I was like, wow. This is really the end. And so I think it's good. It's bittersweet in the end because it is time for a new beginning. It's time to put the Patriot Way behind us, and it's now time to look in the future with Jerod Mayo as head coach. I think he's going to be like Antonio Pierce. He's going to be a player's coach that people want to play for. Patriots also have $75 million in cap space right now. So I think they're going to get some good free agent signings as well. So it'll be interesting what to do with the third pick in the NFL draft. I think they're going to go Jaden Daniels. That's the right move for them to make. So I think that the Patriots' future looks good. As long as they get some good receivers, they give Daniels some protection up front because they've been banged up. The defense is going to be fine. That's just the Patriots' identity. It's just a strong defense. So I wouldn't be too opposed, but I'm happy for Jerod Mayo. Now, I was hoping for Mike Vrabel. I'm a big fan of Vrabel because former Patriot as well, won Coach of the Year in 2021 with the Titans, made it to the playoffs. So he's done well for himself. He's built himself a really good resume. So I was happy. I would have been happy to have Vrabel as well as a Patriots head coach. I didn't know the clause until after the fact that Jerod Mayo was going to be the successor all along. Do I think Vrabel will take a coordinator position? Probably not, because there's a lot of teams out there who are looking for a head coach. We haven't seen this type of coaching carousel in years. 8 teams as of right now don't have a head coach. 7, I think now, because the Patriots do have a head coach with Mayo. So 7 teams in the NFL are without a head coach. So this is going to be crazy to see how these things are going to turn in the offseason. Pete Carroll being out, Vrabel's out. There's so many. Arthur Smith is out as well with the Falcons. I mean, that's where Bill Belichick possibly could go, or is he going to go LA to the Chargers with Justin Herbert? A lot of speculation with those two teams are going on right now. So that's why I'm excited. I love coaching carousels. This happens so often in a lot of other sports. And to me, it's just interesting. How are you going to change a whole team in a matter of an off season? I think it's just so cool to me. And I'm excited for a lot of these teams that are coachless right now. I love to see it in college basketball. I love to see it in college football with Nick Saban now out and the Washington coach now possibly going to Alabama. So that's going to be really cool to see. But we've seen so many greats in the last week leave programs, like Pete Carroll, one of the best, one of the greats, I think. I mean, he's a former Patriot coach, done phenomenal with the Seattle Seahawks. Nick Saban this week, he officially retired as one of the greatest college coaches of all time. And then Bill Belichick leaving, Mike Vrabel. It's just so many cool names out there, and you're like, wow. I feel like I never would have come to see the day of all these names in 1 week just retiring or leaving, going on to create their own destiny in the future. So the coaching carousel in the NFL is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm excited for Jerod Mayo. So happy for him. 10th pick in the 2008 draft. Spent 8 years with New England and then came on as a linebackers coach. And now he's a head coach. He's certainly defined what a Patriot is, and I think he's going to instill that. Like I said, he's reminds me a lot of Antonio Pierce. He's going to be a player's coach, and people are going to want to play for him. So congratulations to Jerod Mayo. So happy for this new dynasty to form in New England. I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to win a championship with Mayo as a head coach. Could they bring Josh McDaniels back as an offensive coordinator? Certainly. I think they can. A lot of people, we're talking about, bring Wes Welker, another former Patriot, as an offensive coordinator. I don't know. I think he's going to stay in Miami. He's been doing a lot of great success as their receivers coach, especially if you have McDaniels, who can also take that role of being an offensive coordinator who's had success in New England. So I think he's going to build a great team around him. I remember when Mayo first got hired that he talked about Dante Hightower. He would love to have him as a defensive coordinator. I mean, if the Patriots are just going to bring back legends, might as well bring back Mike Vrabel too as a coordinator. But I just don't see that happening, especially for a former coach of the year, but it would be amazing to see. So I think the Patriots are going to really build something special once again to put the Patriot way, put that dynasty in the past, and now let's create our own without Brady, without Belichick, and just move forward. I think it's great. What a time to be alive for New England fans. I don't want to go through losing seasons anymore. I don't know how these Bears fans do it, these Panthers fans do it, Cardinals fans. I don't know how you guys do it every single year of losing. So to me, it's weird. I don't like it. It really brings me back to, well, not me, but, my dad's generation of the Patriots losing and wearing bags over their faces. But this is a good step for a new dynasty in New England. Sticking to the gridiron, we're going to talk NFL playoffs. I'm going to go through my picks here as we get ready. So Wildcard Weekend upcoming. I mean, we got some good games and some very cool temperatures coming. Pittsburgh, Buffalo. Give me the Bills. The Bills are going to be home. This temperature is going to be crazy. Wind chill, high winds. And I think the Bills have a better run game, especially if TJ Watt's not going to be playing. I think they're going to just penetrate the Steelers' front line. So give me the Bills in that game. I think that'll be good. And then you have Miami and Kansas City again. They're saying it's going to be like -9 or something like that outside in Kansas City. Tyreek Hill's first game back at Arrowhead. So many just great storylines for these games. I mean, you believe in the script writers or not, they went off. I mean, give these people an Oscar for script writing, if that's even a thing. So I hate to say it, but I think Kansas City's going to win. Miami's just been struggling. I don't know if they can play in these cold temperatures. 1, 2, I just don't think Tua is really built for this right now. Hopefully he proves me wrong, because I just don't want to see Kansas City win. And then you have Browns, Texans, another good storyline here. Trading for Deshaun Watson, the Browns did, and C.J. Stroud. Give me the Texans. But the Browns defense, unbelievable. I had them in fantasy, and they've done wonders for me. They helped me win my fantasy championship. So I'm still taking the Texans. I'm a huge fan of C.J. Stroud. I love what this kid's doing as a rookie. He's winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. There's no doubt about it. So I'm super excited for that game. And they're going to be playing Baltimore, the winner of that game. So Texans, Baltimore, that'll be a fun one. But I think Baltimore will go. And then looking at the other side, Green Bay, Dallas, Mike McCarthy against his old team. The history between the Packers and Cowboys in the playoffs. Did Des Bryant catch it? I still think he did to this day. As much as Jordan Love's been kind of balling right now, the Cowboys have this one in the bag, that's for sure. I think Dak Prescott needs to prove that he can take the Cowboys to a Super Bowl once again and not lose. This game, I'm watching. I don't think I've ever in my life have said I'm going to sit down and watch a Detroit Lions playoff game. Rams, Lions, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff. The first time the Lions have hosted a playoff game in over 30 years. Matthew Stafford's finally back in, his city that he so much loved and, gave to Detroit. And then Jared Goff, going up against the Rams. It's just, oh man, this game I'm so excited for. Detroit's winning. I have Detroit in that game. I'm just so happy, for that game. Never do I think am I going to say that again about a Detroit Lions game, but wow, this team is so cool. I love Dan Campbell, another great player, coach, and somebody who's really revolutionized what the Detroit Lions are now. Because, they used to be the laughing stock of the NFL. Now they're in the playoffs on Super Wildcard Weekend. And then the last game on Wildcard Weekend to play the 49ers. Eagles, Bucks. Give me the upset. Give me Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield's been playing phenomenal football. And the Eagles have been struggling lately, but are they due? I don't know. I don't think so. Especially, Tampa Bay being the home team. I think the Eagles, they were once atop the NFC. Now they're in the 5th spot. I just don't see. I mean, it's not really even an upset because the Bucks are 4th. But to me, it's like this is an Eagles team that went to the Super Bowl, so it feels like an upset. But yeah, I'll take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to play the 49ers. I mean, I'll go this week by week up until the Super Bowl, but that for me is my playoff. So I have Bills, Chiefs, Texans winning in the AFC on Saturday. And then I have the Cowboys, Lions, and Buccaneers winning in the NFC on Wild Card Weekend. Let's see if I'm right. Make sure to tune in next week to see. But a lot of great football, a lot of great storylines here. And I'm so excited to be talking about that and to see how it's all going to unfold. Like I said, great football coming up. I mean, this is a football-heavy episode, and I'm just going to go right to college basketball quickly here before I wrap things up, just because it's been a crazy week in college basketball. The 1, 2, 3, and 5 seeds all lose in a span of like 48 hours. It's absolutely insane. And the only team to win out of the top 5 is UConn at the 4 slot. They're the clear number 1 going into Monday. As long as they beat Georgetown on Sunday, which, fingers crossed, there's no crazy upset. It's Georgetown. But yet again, you never know in college basketball these days. It's tough without Donovan Clingan, though. Samson he's been getting into a lot of foul trouble lately. So I think that it's tough for this UConn team to play small ball basketball, but it's just so good at the same time. And so I like the small ball because Alex Caravan's been just thriving under it. He's a taller guard, taller forward. And he's been playing well at the 5, especially with Samson Johnson getting 4 fouls in like the first half. He just needs to step it up. I wrote an article about it on House Enterprise, so make sure to go check that out. Shameless plug, but I talk about what it's like. Should fans be worried that Donovan Clingan's out? We're at the 3-week mark since his foot injury, and I think that give it another week, we can see him again, especially when UConn has games next week going up against Creighton and Villanova in the upcoming weeks. So I'm hoping to see Clingan back because they need that depth once again. Hassan Diarra has been balling off the bench, though. He's been the glue guy on this team, that's for sure. So big fan of Hassan Diarra because he's just been balling. And I love it. Cam Spencer's been playing well for UConn. Like I mentioned, Caravan. Everybody in Tristan Newton is he's on the wooden watch for one of the best point guards in the nation. No doubt about it. He's All-American. Time to put some respect on Tristan Newton's name, that's for sure. But yeah, a lot going on in college basketball. UConn, the clear number 1, especially with everybody losing if they beat Georgetown on Sunday, which they will. They're going in Monday at number 1. They should. Now, do I think that the polls and the voters aren't going to put them at 1? Probably. Just a lot of bias towards UConn. I think that at least they'll be number 2, just because they've been playing some close games, like against Xavier and DePaul as well. They've just been a second half team though. Like the first half, they keep it within 10, and they just start, expanding. So that's why I think UConn should be the clear number 1. But I can see if they are number 2, and I'll take number 2. But to me, they're number 1. I think they'll be number 2 just because they've been playing close games and Donovan Clingan's been out. But yeah, miss Bill Belichick, I really do. But best of luck to him in the future. That'll do it all today on Hathaway with Hathaway. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe. Give us that 5-star rating as well. And I'll see you all next week.